So this week we watched Bottoms.
I was not prepared for the experience I was I was getting. This movie is very Seth Rogen-esque from a female perspective, which is something we don't get. We don't get movies where girls can be like, we get it with adult women like, Girls Trip or Bridesmaids. We don't really get these
Mhm.
with younger women. Usually we get these kind of stories, Super Bad, Project X from the teen expected young boy. Oh, I'm about to go to college. I can't end high school as a virgin. Those kind of shenanigans, and it also blends a lot of the chaos of, you remember those scary movie franchises from the Wayans brothers, how they're like,
Yeah.
there's a plot that's like they're semi serious about, but it's parodying and riffing off of everything. Like, this reminds me of the best parts that remind me of those. I don't know if you've seen it. Like, it's not another teen movie. Like, Chris Evans is in it, and
I've heard of it, yeah. Mhm.
yeah, so it reminds me a lot of those like parodies on like high school life, as far as the jock is perfect but he's also a vapid idiot kind of things. I loved it like a lot.
It could have been a thing where it was just like a female version of Superbad,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. But I also love the theme of like having stereotypes as characters and then kind of flipping it on its head.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is primarily centered around a group of girls, that it's not like catty or weird, but it's like supportive, but still has conflict that feels believable in it. And I really appreciated that. Rachel Sennett is hilarious. And I don't know what it is exactly about her, but like maybe it's like the deadpan delivery. I'm not sure, but like whatever her type of brand of sense of humor is, I really gel with it. And I also really liked AO too. I liked all of the weird girls. I thought they were great. The little ragtag team that they pulled together was so fun. Like I just really enjoyed hanging out with them.
In this project, like, they all the actresses, because the girls do an amazing job with this movie. I do think in their performance they put a little bit of themselves in this. And that also goes on to Marshawn Lynch, because in every interaction, Marshawn Lynch is just like this. We don't know who the real Marshawn Lynch is. He's always this person in like real life, since like even during football. And he said like the reason why he took this role was because like as a teenager, like as a black guy, at that time period when he was younger, like it's like the early like 2000s ish, where people were not still figuring out this whole sexual identity stuff, and we still are, but we've come a
Mhm.
lot further to that point. He was like, yeah, his sister came out, and he like didn't know how to handle it, and he took it in a negative way, and so he said he took
Mm.
this role as a chance to undo and atone for the damage he did at that time. What I think is great, like when people like
Okay.
realize they've done wrong and they
Mhm.
change and grow.
The way that they approached talking about these topics didn't feel overdone. It didn't feel preachy. It didn't feel run of the mill in any type of way. Like it felt honest, but it also didn't feel like an older person trying to understand how teens talk and how like queer people are. It felt very honest. And maybe because it's coming from people who this is their actual experience. So
My favorite comedic part of this movie is like the little skater girl with the Scully. She's like, "Yeah, my stepdad sucks. He wants to do movie nights. I want to kill him." And everybody's like, "What's wrong with you? You have a normal life. What is wrong with you?" And I loved her so much when she would just like go crazy.
their character is Hazel, which is
Yeah.
like a girl who she's like her mom is like having an affair with like the most popular guy in school, right? She says this certain things where you're just like, nah, that's true, but like, why is no one listening to what you're saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's very interesting. My favorite parts were when people were like, I'm gonna get a gun. And it's like, you can't. Like, getting a gun is not the solution to this problem. Like, and they
Yeah.
were like, I'm gonna get a gun. We're building bombs. Like, we're gonna set it off on Pier. I was
What did
like the fact that two bombs went off in this movie had me weak. Like it had me actually weak. I don't know. There's so much like serious stuff that's out, and I appreciate those things a lot. But to have a movie like this where it's just like let your whatever crazy thing that you could ever think of, like remember the time when some man did you wrong? Like, wouldn't it be amazing to just blow up his car? Yes, I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to do that. And they did. So they gave me that. Like they gave something to everyone where it's just like whatever you want, it'll be in this movie and you can just enjoy it. The music was excellent. I loved it. I loved those certain key choice songs that were like they're playing into like, well, this is current day, so we need like current music.
hmm
But then they would throw in some older tracks And it was just like, it was just a nice vibe. I like that it feels like all of the music choices were intentional. And I really enjoy when the music is like considered and not just like, oh, these are young people, so let's just throw in like Billie Eilish and all these other people just because that's what the audience are used to hearing from this generation.
I know what Charlie XCX handled the
Hmm.
music for this movie. Movies give every character a chance to grow and change instead of just focusing on the main primary cast.
I think for other folks, you can see that the Fight Club actually had meaning for
Yeah.
them and like that really helped them in their development. It was really nice to see
Yeah.
that shift in all the characters.
I'm thankful that the strikes have given movies like this opportunities to be front and center. Did you like that clip? Well, you can listen to the entire podcast because the 16mm Film Crew podcast is available on all major podcast platforms.